So, Lisa's mother, Galena Clarkson, confessed to murdering Lise. But then immediately afterwards, she went insane. So you had no choice but to detain her. What a terribly convenient story. You were the first person to find the suspect hiding at a farm on the edge of town. And you even got her to confess to the crime, right then and there. Did anyone else get a chance to hear Galena's confession?
Only us.
How did you even find that shack in the first place?
Metaphysical offender profiling.
Meta what? Should I know this word?
Metaphysical offender profiling. The term appears 6 times in the Le Carré report and 14 times in the 2010 Greenvale report. As long as you're solving cases, the people in charge don't really care what sort of words you use. But we're different. You utilized a highly abnormal method to instantly hone in on a suspect. Then you did it again and again. And every time you used it, one term kept appearing in your files. Metaphysical offender profiling. Mr. Morgan, would you mind explaining to us what this term means?
We could try. But no matter what words we used, you'd never be able to understand. You see, it doesn't pertain to this side. Come, my fairy. Stop hiding back there and give them the explanation they so desire. What? You're too shy?
Mr. Morgan? Mr. Morgan!
Come on out.
Is that all you have to say? Don't underestimate me, Morgan. I know you and the Clarksons share a deeper connection, much deeper than how it appears on the surface. I need to shake him with something else that's directly connected to the Clarksons. I'm gonna jog his memory by force. A stack of old letters. These must be the letters that he mentioned in the report. That dragonfly mark proves it. Those letters look very old. The postmark suggests they were sent out from Louisiana. And I suspect that dragonfly mark belongs to the Clarkson family.
Maybe. So what if it does?
A stalker has been harassing Patricia Clarkson for several years now. Did you know about this? Constant silent phone calls, unmarked letters. She also spotted a suspicious figure lurking near her mansion several times. And just last week, her employees spotted a strange figure lurking in the vicinity. The day someone else coincidentally used your alias and traveled to Louisiana.
That's very intriguing. Aligned symbolism.
Lise Clarkson also reported being harassed by a stalker just before she was murdered. You're aware of this, correct? Because I didn't find any mention of this in your report.
No direct connection to the case. That's what we must have thought.
The visionary lies to himself, the liar only to others. Which are you?
That's enough for now. This all has nothing to do with the case. Besides, there's no evidence that proves those letters are from her. Isn't that right, my fairy?
Someone stole Lisa's body and it's been missing for the past 14 years. I find it hard to believe that it was simply hidden in that cold storage warehouse the entire time. Why wasn't a more detailed investigation carried out? Reading over it again, I can't help but notice how well organized this report is. One might even call it perfect. Except some parts have been redacted in an extremely suspicious way. Why are all these places blotted out? Mr. Morgan, I noticed that several parts of this report have been redacted. For example, here. One individual's name has been erased from the key figure list. Would you mind telling me why?
Someone in charge must have thought it was unimportant, or maybe even inappropriate.
Why would they think that?
How should we know? We've never understood what those people do.
Well, I took the liberty of trying to restore what was taken out. Normal ink was used to blot it out, so I was able to recover part of it. Here's what it says. Sapling salesman. All the other redacted parts seem to be connected to this person, but I can't think of a single reason why this individual would need to be removed from the report. Why is he so untouchable?
Oh, him. He's nothing. We were barking up the wrong tree.
Meaning?
Can't include someone who doesn't exist in an official report, now can we?
Doesn't exist? You mean he had nothing to do with the case?
Yeah, you could say that.
Mr. Morgan, according to you, at the beginning of this case, the victim's body was being stored in the warehouse on purpose. Is that the truth? They really put her body there alongside food and other perishables?
It's in the report.
No. The report only says it was stored using the most effective and shockingly inhuman method possible.
If you can think of a better phrase, we're all ears.
The report isn't wrong, you know. In fact, that might actually be the most accurate way of describing it. It's precise, and it's also kinda poetic, you know?
Wow, Simon. We never would have taken you for a poet.
Right?
You two think this is a joke? Lise Clarkson's body was discovered in that cold storage warehouse after 14 long years. If you'd only done a proper investigation, we probably would have found her much sooner. That poor girl.
We still regret the fact that we never got to meet her. We're sorry, from the bottoms of our hearts.
I only hope it didn't happen that way by design.
Will you comfort me? Thank you, my fairy.
I knew it wouldn't go that easily. Maybe I should try asking my questions in a different way. I could use Agent Jones here. That's the window that faces the street out front. I can tell just from the layout of his furniture. Now I'm surrounded by everything I couldn't see out there. Films teach us all we need to know? That's ridiculous. I'd rather read a book than watch a stupid movie.
It's bugging you, isn't it, Aaliyah?
Huh? What?
I get it. It's bugging me too. It's even got my heart racing a little. I mean, look at this. Nothing but DVDs. Not a single Blu-ray in sight, just pure, unadulterated DVDs. And he's got VHS tapes, too. I don't even have a VHS player in my house anymore. Whoa, look at this. Check it out. This one's got a lot of pizza in it, remember?
You're not wrong, Simon. There's a very large quantity of pizza in that film. 1987, directed by Mel Brooks. The version on that tape is the one we recorded back when you could catch it on cable TV.
Seriously? Damn, Morgan, that's incredible. You're really living the dream, man.
I hope you both haven't forgotten that this conversation is also being recorded. This is a nice building. Layout isn't bad either. Whew. Must be rather expensive to rent a place like this in Boston. How many other rooms are there in this apartment? That room over there your bedroom?
Huh. Why so curious, Belle? It almost sounds as if you're seeing this place for the first time. Aside from the hardware shop on the first floor, every apartment in this building has the exact same layout. We're well aware that you studied the layout of this apartment before you came to see us. There's no need to act so roundabout. Just be honest. Say it. I want to see your bedroom.
Well then.
Doesn't mean we'll let you see it, though.
Agent Jones is completely checked out, despite the fact that we're heading deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole here. Agent Jones! Are you paying attention? Or do you intend to waste Mr. Morgan's precious time?
No. Sorry. I'm just a little tired. I'm listening.
Take your hand out of your pocket. Didn't they teach you any manners at Quantico?
Oh, right. Guess they slipped my mind. My bad. I'm actually kinda nervous. I'm not used to this sort of thing. Data analysis is my specialty, you know. I'm sure I'd be able to calm down a bit if I had some pizza, though.
The FBI needs to do something about their lack of personnel. I'll have to ask the questions myself, but how should I start? Maybe I should look back over the files and calmly reassess the situation. An elegant antique lighting fixture. And most of his other furniture is of the same quality. Why is his room such a mess then? This is why, instead of calling him a dangerous person, they've labeled him a high-functioning sociopath.
Just the usual around here, no need to worry.
The usual?
Yes. A strange person lives upstairs. Every now and then, he makes noise.
What's strange about him?
Several years ago, a woman was murdered upstairs. Her husband still lives there.
Yikes.
He's ex-BPD, and apparently he's still searching for the killer. But it seems like they cut all support for the investigation due to decreased funding. The team on the case wanted to keep working on it, but the suits wouldn't hear of it. A tale as old as time. Due to his situation, perhaps. He's been making a lot more noise recently, like you just heard.
You never noticed anything, Agent Jones.
Well, I did hear some loud noises every now and then, but I didn't think they were real noises coming from upstairs. I mean, look at him. It's not like he's reacting to the noise. He always just went about his business as usual for all the years I've watched him. So I just figured it was coming from the TV.
You really amaze me sometimes. So far, everything checks out with the report. But there were always some parts of the report that didn't make sense. He expects me to believe he just happened to solve a case this difficult while he was on vacation? And metaphysical offender profiling? I won't let him distract me with his fancy made-up words. After you arrested Galena Clarkson, you had a run-in with the Clarksons. At least that's what it says in the report. What exactly happened there?
Just a simple run-in, that's all. Nothing but a single phenomenon. Chasing hollow instances like that won't lead you closer to the truth. Truth doesn't work like that.
A hollow phenomenon, which resulted in a mountain of corpses.
Oh, Belle. We think we finally understand what you're trying to say. But don't be so voracious. How about another cup of coffee? We've still got a long way to go, you know. Yes, it's coarsely ground, so there should only be 4 teaspoons per cup. No more, no less. Next, the coffee travels from the funnel to the siphon. Simon, normally you only do surveillance in order to gather data, correct? Hiding microphones and cameras, sifting through garbage, wiretapping, shadowing, tracing credit card histories. You'll do whatever it takes to gather data in order to prevent crimes. That's how the FBI works.
Well, yeah, you're right. No reason in hiding it now, I guess. Why do you ask?
Our Southern Belle has adopted a very peculiar MO. It's almost like she has a special power, just like us. You've been watching us this entire time, haven't you, Belle? From that window.
I don't need to answer that question.
You came here on New Year's Eve, then spent 49 hours watching us until you returned to your hotel room last night. You observed us the entire time without sleep or rest, and you only ate once, some pizza delivered by Simon. Aside from that, you never drank any water or relieved yourself. You simply sat there and continued to watch us. You have visions, too, don't you? You came here solely to hear us talk, didn't you? But then, why bother watching us for over 2 days beforehand? You didn't come to talk with us. You came because you wanted to see this apartment with your own eyes, and because you're already convinced of something. Isn't that right? He who fights with monsters should see to it that he himself does not become a monster. And if you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you.
But
Oh, coffee. Thank you, my fairy. If you hadn't been paying attention, this coffee would have all gone to waste. The pus in our brains. It really has a way of interfering with our lives. I didn't remember when she came along.
Oh. What the Christ? This is friggin' delicious. I thought I was gonna shit myself for a second there. Come on, Aaliyah, take a sip. Trust me. I'm not exaggerating here.
I don't believe it. It's better than any coffee I've ever tasted.
Of course it is. Coffee is a sacred drink. Coffee saved us. If not for its oracle, we would be on the other side right now. So I never forget to pay my respects to coffee, especially at critical moments like this.
Big black cumulonimbus clouds are in the sky, and that sound. Thunder snow is coming. Ominous. It's almost like a manifestation of the atmosphere in this room right now. Does Agent Jones need pizza in order to calm down? Why does he hate being out in the field so much? He knows we need to be on our absolute guard against this guy. Why can't he just pull it together? If he actually had a hand in this, it would explain why Lisa's body was left frozen for all that time. The body wasn't stolen. It wasn't that he couldn't find it. He just left it there. It's definitely a possibility. Do you hear that thunder? It's probably going to snow soon.
We're in Massachusetts. That's the norm for this time of year.
Well, I'm not used to the cold. If possible, I'd like to finish this up before we get stuck in a snowstorm. Agent Jones, after we're done here, Agent Jones, is something the matter? Snap out of it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know.
Do you? Then stop daydreaming.
Okay.
You just what?
My stomach's been letting some thunder loose, too.
Thunder?
That coffee was just so good,
It what? We don't have all day here.
The coffee was just so good, it, summoned forth a massive tsunami from within me.
Excuse me? What is wrong with you? Now is really not the time for this.
Right door at the end of the hallway.
Thanks, pal. Whew, hold on. You can make it. We can do this. It's not very far.
We promise you, we did not put laxatives in the coffee. Coffee is a sacred drink, remember?
Motherfucker. There's no doubt that the report omitted information linking Morgan to the Clarksons. I need to get him to confess. Oh yeah. That reminds me. There's a secret weapon in Agent Jones's briefcase. He's chain smoking it non-stop. He's clearly dependent on it, which means he might be dependent on other drugs as well. Mr. Morgan, I heard that you were always a smoker. Did you ever wonder if that was the reason you contracted your illness?
What does that have to do with this case?
Nothing. I'm just personally curious about it.
Sometimes, people die in car accidents, regardless of how well they take care of their health. Other times, they slip on their bathroom floors and crack open their heads. Isn't that right, my fairy?
I'm not concerned with statistics. I'm just curious about you, right here, right now.
We switched over from nicotine to this. It's less addictive. That's one step in the right direction, isn't it?
Perhaps. If we're talking about withdrawal symptoms or physical dependencies. But it still seems like you're smoking too much at once. Honestly, it looks to me like you have a mental dependency.
Maybe. But so what if we do?
Surely you know about gateway drugs, yes? When a person starts to use one drug, it becomes much easier for them to branch out and try other drugs as well. The first drug acts as the gateway that leads them to stronger substances.
Oh. Are you trying to say that's going to happen to us?
No, I'm simply saying there's a possibility. Agent Jones probably won't be back for a while. Actually, now might be my opportunity to make some real progress. Have you ever seen this before? And please, don't say no.
Sang Rouge, the drug we once chased. What about it?
Sang Rouge is still circulating. It's changed shape and its composition is slightly different now. But it's still very much alive. But only in a very limited part of Louisiana. You aren't surprised? Did you somehow know this would happen?
Copies of another drug being circulated isn't exactly a rare case.
But Sang Rouge is special. The inimitable Enigma powder. The origin. It has many names, and no one was ever able to copy it. We've also been trying to figure out what it's made from ever since it appeared, but it's impossible to analyze. After all, it appears to be made from common ingredients that can be found anywhere. But if you try to use those ingredients, all you'll end up with is a mundane hallucinogen like DMT. If you're lucky. No. Sang Rouge requires a special recipe. The original recipe, which someone's been guarding this entire time. Someone who survived the incident in Le Carré. He read these over and over again, like a prisoner rereading letters from his loved ones. But the last letter was delivered years ago, according to this postmark. That must be the last time he communicated with whoever was sending these. Yet, he left them out in plain sight. All this time. Immediately after they found Lisa's body, I went to go see Patricia. In order to interrogate her, of course.
So you told us.
But I was unable to meet with her.
She refused to speak with you, didn't she? That's so like her.
No, she didn't get the chance to. You see, she's gone missing.
What?
To put it more accurately, no one's seen her since the afternoon of the 28th. According to her employees, she shut herself up in her room for several months before she disappeared. But since that sort of thing happened often, they didn't think anything of it. On the morning of New Year's Eve, they noticed her window was open, and when they went up to check on her, she was gone. But no one knows how long her window had been open for. This is just my hypothesis, but on December 28th, a strange man visited Le Carré and was spotted near her mansion. That man must have found some way to lure Patricia into his car, the '89 Cadillac that he bought used. Then, the two of them drove north to Trenton, where they boarded a train to Boston. They would have arrived here around midnight on the 29th, or perhaps early morning on the 30th. I believe this man is the same Billy Bishop whose name was previously recorded by the airline. So, what do you think of my guess? I'd love to hear your opinion as a former FBI special agent.
Now we get it. We aren't persons of interest. We're the suspects. But what about our alibi?
What alibi?
I've had enough of your bullshit. You expect me to believe you haven't taken a single step out of this room? That Agent Jones is your witness? Surveillance cameras can easily be tampered with, especially by someone like you, who knows all about how the FBI works.
You're possessed by death. Go and take a look at your own face in the mirror. You look like the Grim Reaper. After you visited both Le Carré and Greenvale, you left a mountain of corpses in your wake. You can make all the excuses you want. I'm immune to them. Right here, right now, I want to know everything. You tell me the truth.
Yes! You're good, Bill. Damn good. You're brimming with potential. Don't you think she's the perfect partner for our last dance? What do you say, my fairy? Don't you agree? She's good. So good. What do you want to know? We've got nothing to hide. Go on. Question us. This is how it's got to be. Doesn't this remind you of something? You know what I mean, my fairy?